guys, so today I'm here with Emma, and Emma is from the UK. She's already a Pilates instructor.
Yay.
And I'm going to ask a few questions which is going to help you guys who are Pilates instructor to understand what is best and what people recommend. So anyway, Emma,
Hello.
so we don't know the question yet.
No,
so
off the cuff.
Yeah,
Very authentic.
Exactly. So I want to know, first of all, what inspired you to become a Pilates instructor, and when you started really your journey as a Pilates instructor.
Okay, truthfully,
Yes.
I've been in the industry for 25 years, and I was doing lots and lots of classes like we do, lots of high energy, and I started to feel my lower back. I just couldn't sustain it. And I turned to Pilates as my kind of longevity for my career. I knew I could teach Pilates, I would look after my back health. And that's truly why I initially decided on the Pilates path.
I love that.
It's true.
I love the aerobic. Was it aerobic?
Aerobics, legs, bumps and tons, all of that. Yeah.
And that's actually very funny because that's exactly when I started as well.
Yeah.
Ended up with an injury, and then I was like, I can't teach all these classes. Getting injured, doing step aerobic was the worst for me. Was really going for my knees and my shoulder even. And that's the way really I started. But anyway. So, and where are you located in England?
Okay.
And tell us more about Pilates over there.
Yeah.
So is it more mat-based? Do you see more equipment or reformer equipment? As we know, there's a lot more reformer studio opening. But how is it where you are?
Okay, so I'm in Herefordshire, and it's very rural. Pilates is huge. More mat.
Okay.
I will be honest, more mat.
All right.
And I feel I'm at the cusp of creating reformer, because around me I have only 2 studios that offer reformer.
This is brilliant. This
so,
is brilliant.
Light bulb moment.
Yes.
I'm going to open a reformer
Exactly.
option at my studio.
Yeah.
It's very, very popular. Very popular Pilates in my area. So I hope it's a popular reformer choice too.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I'm sure it will be.
Yeah, it would be. And it's great because, as you mentioned, it's only 2, and you can... I always find that competition is healthy anyway.
Yeah.
Even if you decide to open a Pilates studio, I just find competition is important because it keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
That's the way you grow. And by the way, if you want to be the best, competition is going to be something really important because people are going to realize that the others are crap,
Well.
So, here we go. So
we're going to be the best.
Exactly. Now, I've got a question about what is the age group in your classes?
Oh, that's a really interesting one. So my kind of demographics, we're looking at anything, honestly, from 20, wait for it, to 90. I have a 90-year-old in my class.
love that.
But kind of average is anything from 20 to, say, 60.
Yeah.
So it's quite a mixture.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Do they come because of injuries, or do they come because it's popular at the moment, Pilates? I guess it depends on the age group of your clients.
Bit of both.
Yeah.
Injuries for sure. It's always a safe environment, isn't it, Pilates, especially on the mat.
Yeah.
Community. If you're going to set up classes, honestly, the community you can create is so unique to you.
Yes.
Definitely that socialization, and I think people love to come along because they know they get results. They get everything that their body needs. They get the strength, the flexibility, posture, revive mentally. It's mental and physical for some of my clients as well.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that.
It's a big mixture. And no client's the same with why they're in the room, but everybody, if you're in a group, there's a lovely vibe, good energy, and people say hello and make friends and chat, and I love seeing that blossom.
Yeah, that's the community really, and you create that.
Yeah.
It's not just going to a class, thank you, bye, and you
No.
go, and you never see them again.
No.
It's really, and that is important because that's what people want to. They want
Yeah.
to belong to somewhere.
They do.
They want to, so which is great. Now, do you have men as well coming to your classes, or?
I do. It's not as popular.
Yeah.
And this is something I would love to really home in on. I have some men that come in mixed classes.
Yeah.
I do offer some classes female only.
Okay.
But yes, I get men that more often than not, they're the husbands.
Yes.
The wife
yes.
said, come along. You need to do Pilates. It will help your back or
They want
whatever injury.
they want a husband who is not injured and who's got a nice tight butt.
Absolutely.
Let's face it. Who doesn't want that? Why should we look good and they don't?
Yeah, I'll
Isn't
sell my
it?
classes with your hubby can get a tight butt.
Yes. Now, I've got a question as well on why, not why, but how would you deal? What is the hardest for you to deal with the different level of not just injuries, but the level of the fitness really in your class? Because when you've got like a new person coming and she's a beginner, and then you've got somebody who's a bit more advanced, how do you deal with that? Because I think for a new instructor, it's what's challenging, isn't it?
Yeah. It sounds really like cliche, but 100%. The more you practice, the more you will flow. You will just become so confident especially if you create that safe space for your clients. And you've got a beginner, and then you've got. I literally, no lie, I have a beginner in my class, and I have a woman I've taught for 20 years.
Yeah.
So she's really different. But they start to learn how you teach, don't they? Your terminology. So the advanced are already flowing into the start of the routine while the beginner's watching. So I tend to break it down. The exercise I break down, and I offer what I call layers of levels. And you can always go back to that beginner, can't you? And spend that little bit more time, hands-on correcting, giving different imagery and cues, and make them feel comfortable. But you can keep checking. Of course, your eyes are on the room, scanning and observing. And you'll find that your regulars and more advanced, that it's almost natural that they know the exercise. So they're quite confident already.
Yeah.
So that's how I fit it. I know my advanced are more confident, they will flow more. My beginners are more injured. I know I need to give that a little bit more specific cueing and time. And you just juggle it. And I find honestly, my regulars really respect when I'm teaching my beginners. And one thing that always happens when I have that scenario, very often at the end, my regulars will come up to me and they will thank me for, Emma, thank you for reminding me of the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking it right back this evening to basics.
Yes.
It's been a really good refresher. And I think when you've got that community and everyone's comfortable together in a room, you have to respect Mrs. Jones Bayou's brand new and you're really advanced. But, there's no ego in my room, and I absolutely install that into my community.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's just so important. And even like using somebody who's really good, I find you have to remember we are like children. If you're going to tell me I'm good, I'm going to love that.
Yeah.
I want the sticker.
They love that.
Or they love that. So what I would do usually in a class, I would use somebody who's got more experience, and I would say, "Oh, look at Emma, look what she's doing. This is exactly what I want." And you know what? Even so, at first they're like, "Oh, no, not me." They're like, "Oh, yes, it's me." They really like that, and it's why they come back as well, because they know, "Oh my God, I'm actually really good." Until you tell them they're good, they're never going to feel they're good, because as instructor, we always teach them a level a bit higher each time.
Yeah.
So they don't feel they're getting better, because each time it's harder for them. So they're like, oh my God, I'm never going to do it.
But that keeps them motivated, doesn't it?
Exactly.
It keeps your retention. If you teach the same class plan, they're bored. Spice it up, vary it, even if it's one variation.
Yeah.
It keeps them really, really interested and retains them, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, talking about class plan, it's a big thing for new instructors. I think, should I tell really what I think?
She will.
But, I just think these people are not trained properly, and it's why they can't prepare their class plan and they just get whatever from internet or social media, which is so poor, guys. Do not do that. You need to understand why you're doing it. And yeah, so talking about the class plan, do you plan your class depending on your clients? Or what I see a lot is all these new reform studio, for instance, the instructor doesn't even know who's in the class, which to me is a bit weird because I prepare my class for my clients. If somebody's coming with a back injury or a knee injury, I'll make sure that it's suited for them. If somebody's coming and they're pregnant, you need to have backup all the time. So how do you deal with that?
Okay, so because I run my own business, I know every client, and I think that's so important, that meet and greet consultation, and it's not just on day one, it's every single day. How are you today? Because they could be very different.
Yes.
I have a kind of, if you like, base plan in my head based on that client, based on that group. But I think this comes with experience, doesn't it?
Yes.
Without sounding arrogant.
100%. Yes.
You get to a point where you will arrive at class and you will have to spin it and completely change your plan based on the energy in the room. Suddenly there's a client that's just, today's really bad, her arthritis in her knee's not right, she can't kneel. You need to, and it is about understanding the why you're giving the exercise. Sandrine's so right, so that you can adapt, you can modify. You've got to spin a lot of plates. You know, you are looking after, like you say, children.
Yes.
You know, so I plan, but I'm very open-minded to intuitive. That's the word I'm looking for, intuitive teaching.
Yes.
And I quite like that. You know, and the more you do it, it's almost like I always say it's like choreography, as in the way you talk and cue. The more you do, the more you just flow. And the more you love it, the more it just oozes out of you, and your clients will love that if you're passionate, won't they?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I just find, like you said, it's you need to prepare your class, but not really. It's all around your clients, really.
On the day.
As you said, somebody might be coming with an injury, or or you are teaching, let's say, an advanced class, and suddenly somebody's coming in your class, and she's coming with a mum who's never done it before, but because it's a 9:30 class, they want a 9:30. So that's the problem, and you need to adapt. And we know that, like, let's say with reformer, we can just deal with that with just changing the springs. But what I find a lot with new instructors now, the problem is they don't even know why they're doing an exercise. They're just doing an exercise for the sake of it. And I think it's probably the problem, or they've seen something on social media and they're going to try to reproduce it, what I call circus Pilates.
Yeah.
And then, especially when you've got a big class, there's nothing wrong about having a big class, except if you give them the wrong exercise. And that's the problem, really. I mean, a big class, it's okay, but it's more fitness. It's knowing why you're teaching it. But if you're doing Pilates, pure Pilates, it's actually hands-on. I don't want an instructor who's not going to come and correct me. I need to make sure I'm in the right correction because I can injure myself. And that's what I see more and more. And that's something I just want to make sure my instructors are the best at what they're doing. And Pilates is, it's been around for a long time, yes, and we know the challenge that we have between the classical and the modern Pilates or whatever, but at the moment it's not even the war between the two of them, it's really about teaching safely.
Yeah,
and I think that's what I see.
That in us, don't you? You have, honestly, you will arrive, you will understand the safety, the why this exercise, you'll start to learn why this exercise is suitable or not suitable for your client. And Sandrine really pays attention to that and giving you the options. And you'll just get into the habit of, rather than just being a robot and saying, right, okay, we're going to lie down, we're going to do pelvic lift. You will start to say, we're going to do pelvic lift, but we're going to do it because, and your clients love that. I want to work the glutes. I want to strengthen the lower back. Yeah. You learn the why rather than the just do, because your clients will ask you, why? Why am I doing this? Or they'll come in and I want to really train my butt. You know,
Yes,
so
yes.
you need to give them the why and be confident. And if you're not sure, tell them. You know, there's nothing worse than being unauthentic. You know, if you've got a client that expresses something you don't understand, an injury or just a question of I want to exercise, I don't know, I've got spondylosis, and you think, I don't know, I don't understand. Cool, be honest, because you can go away, you can ask your mentor, you can research, you can ask their health professional, their doctor, etc., and build that confidence by not being afraid to ask your mentor or the health professionals, don't you think? I think that gives
Absolutely.
that gives your client more confidence in you if you're really honest and you say, I don't know that answer, but I'm going to go away and I'm going to research it and I will come back to you. And they will really love that. They'll feel very safe with you, and that's essential.
Absolutely. And as Emma was saying, it's a lot with, I mean, we don't expect a new instructor to know everything straight away. I did not. When I first started, I can tell you, oh my God, I had to write down everything. It's why actually to me, one-on-one is the best, because you can really concentrate on that client. You can just do that exercise works. Okay, this one there. In a big group classes, it's very different. Suddenly it's like, well, what I used to teach when I was teaching aerobic, I didn't really care about, if she's going to fall, because, I have to get on with the next move. And so, but it will come, knowledge will come with experience. But you need to learn as well. It's not just you've got an exercise routine and that's it. No. You need to always ask yourself questions. And what works with one client might not work with someone else.
100%.
And that, I had people with stroke coming and I worked with that person and I thought, oh, now I know how to deal with that. Not really, because they're all very different. So we always learning. If you think that you are now qualified and that's it, you're done. No, you're not. That's actually the beginning of everything, isn't it?
It is. Oh, yeah. From the day you qualify, you will walk away and you will want to learn more. You'll open your eyes to, you'll have more questions and you'll be more intrigued, and that makes a good teacher, doesn't it?
Yes, I agree.
When you're humbled and you want to learn more. Yeah.
Yes, and a good teacher, often I get that question, how do you see a good teacher? To me, it's all down to personality, purely personality. If the teacher is here to teach you, it's going to make such a difference. If she's here just for herself, taking selfie, or, and it's just like... It's very different. It's all about caring, and then you will learn anyway, but you're here for the clients. When I go to a class and you've got the instructor doing their own workout and I'm there on the other side and she doesn't even come up and check, why do you even bother paying training? I don't understand that. It just, and it puts the name Pilates quite bad. Suddenly, like people would come to me and said, oh, I really hurt my back in Pilates. It should not happen if your instructor knew what she was doing. It can happen, if you're doing something silly, but your instructor should always tell you, guys, with back problem, we don't do this one. With knee problem, we don't do this one. She should constantly, or he should constantly tell you. And that to me is the most important, and that's what I don't see enough. And then again, what I would say is, depending on, like when people come to me and they want to be a Pilates instructor, fine. When they just want to do reformer, I'm skeptical. When they're like, they don't want to know the real thing of Pilates. I like to tell them about the history. I like to tell them, I train with people who train with Joseph Pilates. So to me, it has to be, it has to be pure, it has to be, and I think it's just so important. So when they just tell me, oh, you can actually, there's nothing wrong about to be like the others, but if you want to be the little bit more, and you need to do your research, you need to do all that. But it's why I love having people coming to my house, like Emma, who was already fully qualified. And I think it's great because, we can see the evolution of Pilates. And since, I would say, COVID, it's completely changed.
Oh, it's so popular now.
Yes, it's completely. But then, like with anything, there is, it's watered down, and then there is less and less. And sometimes in a class there is no Pilates. It's using the equipment, the reformer, so it's very different. But thank you so much, Emma. It was nice to be chatting with you. And we cannot wait to see your studio in England and to come and visit you there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.